In the question number 25, Mary makes pendant of the same design from small beads. The sequence of the diagrams show the pendants she makes. So these are 4 diagrams, and the number about these diagrams are given in the table. In the first, this is diagram numbers. First diagram, second diagram, third, fourth, and fifth. And in this second row of the table, this is about number of rows. In the first diagram, there are three rows. Look here. Let's count them. This is first row. This is second row, and this is third row. And the number of rows in the second diagram is first row, second, third, fourth, and fifth. There are five rows. So this is 5 written over here. And the same way in the diagram 3 and fourth, there are 7 and 9 rows. Okay, now we have to find how many rows are there in this fifth diagram. And if you see the third row of this table, so these are about number of beads. So the number of beads are 4 in the first diagram. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 beads here. And in the second diagram, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 beads. So it is written over here. And then the same way, 16 and 25 beads in diagram 3 and 4 respectively. So what's the question then? The question is about find and so we have to complete this table first. Okay, sorry, this complete table. So what are the number of rows in the fifth diagram and what are the number of beads in the fifth diagram? Okay, if you look this is we have, what is the rule here? We have to this 3, then 3 plus 2 is 5, and the 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. Just we have to add 2 and to get the next term. So it is 9 plus 2 is 11. This is 11. And if you observe these numbers, these are basically square numbers. It is square of 2, which is 4. This is square of 3. This is square of 4. This is square of 25. So obviously the next will be the square of 6, which will be 36. Okay, in the second part, find an expression in terms of n for the number of rows in the diagram n. So to find the number of rows in the diagram n, which is the nth term, or we can also say find the formula. So this nth term is also called the formula of that sequence. So right now we are discussing, in this part we are discussing this sequence. So let me write over here to find the nth term. Yeah, okay, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. So if you we have observed that this is the difference between the two terms is plus 2, and the difference between these two terms is also plus 2, and plus 2, and plus 2. So when this is called first difference, and when the first difference is constant, so this sequence is called arithmetic sequence. And to find the expression of in terms of n, so what we have to multiply n with this first difference. So it is 2n. Okay, to find the complete expression, we have to observe, if you put this 1 here in this n, this will become 2 into 1, 2, but it is 3, which is 1 more than 2. Now if we put this 2 here, so 2 times 2 is 4, but this is 5, which is 1 more than 4. If we put 3 here, 3 times 2 is 6, but this is 7, that is 1 more than 6. So likewise, from this we found that the nth term will be, that is 2n plus 1. So now we have found this is nth term of this sequence, which is about the number of rows. That was arithmetic sequence because its first difference was constant. Now if you observe this sequence, that is about number of beads, these are square numbers. But if you observe the pattern, and if you link these squares with the term numbers, basically this is the square of the next term number. 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 21, and 6 square is 35. So when we reach the at the nth term, so what will be the value here between under this here? So obviously it will be the square of the next term number, which is n plus 1. We have already observed the values here are the square of the next term number. Look, this is square of this number, which is square of 4 is 16. So in the same way, here the term number will be square of the next term, which is n plus 1. So this is will be here the term is n plus 1 square. So we will write over here n plus 1 square. So the nth term or the expression in terms of n is n plus 1 square. Now let's come to the next part C, and this is a little bit we have to, okay, so this is Julia asked Mary to make her a pendant with 25 rows. Okay, so how many beads are used to make this pendant? Okay, so here the number of rows are given here. So look here, these are the number of rows here. So we have given there are 25 rows. So there will be some number 25 somewhere, 25 here. So number of rows, if the number of rows are 25, so what is the term number here? Here. So for that we will use the formula, this one, because this is about the formula for the number of rows. So here it means 2n plus 1. So we have already given this is n is a term number, and the answer of this is called number of rows, which is 25 right now here. And if we solve it, this will give us n 25 minus 1 is 24, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. So basically the number of rows, when the number of rows are 25, it is term number 12. So let me write this 12 over this. This is number 12. Okay, just to understand completely this part. I hope you can see this clearly. Okay, so let's come back to the question again. So now we have to find how many beads are used to make this pendant. So the pendant, so where the number of beads, the number of rows are 25, this is the term number 12, and the number of beads will be here. If you remember the pattern in this sequence, the pattern, the number is, it is the square of the next term number. So what is it is under it is under, this number is under term number 12, but the value will be here, the value will come here, it will be square of the next term number, which is 13. So it will be 13 square over here, it will be 13 square here, the value here will be 13 square, so which is 169. So the answer is 169. Let me write it. So I hope you understand this.